Check, 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 check. Check, 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 check. Go ahead and you talk.
Check, 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 check. One, two, three. 1, 2, 3. One, two, three. 1, 2, 3.
How you doing, Bristol? Aaron Lopez here. We're here with David Fortier talking Bristol. David, how you doing today, David?
Well, Aaron, I'm fantastic. Thanks very much. I hope you're doing well too.
Welcome to the show. It's your weekly show. You want to tell the viewers a little bit about what we're doing every week here at the Bristol Edition with this new show that we're adding.
Well, talking Bristol is just talking and having a conversation about things of some significance to Bristol. Maybe policy decisions. It may be someone who's doing something a little bit different, but something worth the public's let's say attention. I mean, we're an attention economy. It's where we put our attention. Lots of times is it may be problematic, but with Bristol Edition and with our live streaming programs, we kind of want to focus on community and people who perhaps have something to say that we should all be listening to maybe kind of block out some of the white noise that's all out there.
And typically, this would be Talking Bristol with David Fortier. But today we have a special edition of the show where we are discussing the coming year, including our live stream coverage as well. Now, listen, if you see the green screen behind us, it's for a reason, okay? Now, we're unveiling a new look here on the Bristol edition as we've kind of gained momentum a bit with more on the media side and social media. We're trying to elevate the Bristol edition and elevate the city. That's the goal, is to bring non-bipartisan news and elevate and let the people of Bristol know what's going on, right? And David has been doing a fantastic job of building the Bristol edition. David, how do you feel about how we've been doing so far and just the little additions we've made?
Well, there's the long term. We published our first stories back in 2016, and there were just a few stories. And then we formally incorporated as a not for profit in the early 2020s. And so our progress has been steady. We've worked with volunteers, but the point is to become a viable business in town, even though we're under the aegis of the not for profit. We thought there were some advantages of coming in as a not for profit. And one of the big ones is that our funding and our supporters and our members and anyone who contributes to us, their money would go back into the publication. And by virtue of the publication, we mean it will go back into the community. So we have lots of things that are planned. But our latest adventures and initiatives with media have been kind of exciting. And there's not anything that I ever thought that I would be too involved with, but Aaron has come along, Angelo's come along, and we've done some pretty spectacular programs. Now that we're not saying they're perfect, and we're still getting off the ground, as evidenced by our green screen that Aaron will address at some point. But I think that where we are right now is in a pretty good place.
Yeah, and listen, and this is the message for a lot of you people out here in Bristol. If you have an idea, if you want to put in the work, if you want to develop, you don't need the most. It's go out, start with an idea, start with a dream, start building on it, and that's kind of what we're doing here in the taking something that's already been phenomenal, the Bristol edition paper with David, and adding the multimedia aspect of it, and it's going to take time. So let's talk about the green screen. So we have a new look that we're going to unveil, and we didn't want to do it just yet; it's a little too early. But next week's show, Talking Bristol, will have our new look. But we did want to kind of show you that that's in progress, and we don't mind looking this way, having errors, having issues. That's all part of the process. So, we hope to get to a higher level in the future, but it's step by step. Never be afraid to try and work with what you got. But all that aside, David, let's talk about what's been going on uh, in 2026 so far. It's been a fast month. It's going fast.
Okay.
Tell us a little bit about what's some of the events that we've attended.
Well, a couple of things is one of our hopes is to get involved with some solutions journalism, which means following problems that are in the issue in the city. When I say problems, I mean challenges that we face. One of the challenges that we face right now is we have the homeless situation, or the unhoused, and we have winter and it's cold. And if you look around you tonight, if you look at the temperatures, it feels like 1 degree outside. So Laura Bailey has done a couple of stories leading into the holidays, and through the beginning of this year on what's happening in Bristol regarding homelessness, and she'll continue that series. So that's one of the contributions that we think we want to make. As far as other programs, just this year, I mean, this past weekend, if it's any evidence of what's going on, is we were at Aaron was at successively in different days at several businesses in town, and you can talk about those, Aaron. We think it's really important that our businesses are in our pages, because we're a community newspaper, and businesses are part of our community, and they're a big part of our community, especially the small businesses. We want to focus on Bristol and Bristol concerns. So that's Aaron was out there busy with his camera. We and then on Monday we covered the Most Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. and Most Reverend Eddie C. Whitehead scholarship breakfast that was sponsored by the NAACP, and we'll have some reporting on that. It was terrific, and one of the things I have to mention about that is one of our initiatives is that we are partnering with the Bristol Boys and Girls Club. So while we were getting our footage for Bristol Edition, we had several individuals who've been working over the past 3 months on a program that has been partially funded by the Main Street Community Foundation, where we are preparing kids at the Boys and Girls Club to conduct interviews and maybe get involved in podcasts. And there's more to that, but I won't belabor the point. But they were there at that event, and they interviewed the mayor, they interviewed the state representative, they interviewed the speaker. They were it was kind of fun. We played around, and today we had another lesson over at the Boys and Girls Club, and we reviewed the footage, and we came up with some ideas about how we want to conduct ourselves in the future when we do more of this programming. So this is kind of where we've been just in the past couple of weeks, and where we'd like to go. But the crux of what we do is we are a local newspaper. We're a local community newspaper, and when they are closing across the country, you just saw that the newspaper with a really venerable tradition closed in Pittsburgh. We have to do something to kind of re-energize and reinvigorate local news, and that's what we've been working toward, and that's what we've been doing for the past decade, and that's what we intend to do this year. And so I guess, Aaron, to answer your question, that's kind of what we've been doing all along. But now we have this great multimedia arm that is really it is a shot in the arm. So that's kind of where we are. That's kind of where we're going to go. We can talk a little bit more about that, but I'm sure you have something to say after being out there with your camera on several days and out there shooting the community.
It's always a good time getting to know the community more, as I talked about earlier when I first started going around to events in the city of Bristol and getting to know the area here up north. A lot of things very different, but it's always nice to get to know the community. And Bristol, it truly is. This is why I like it so much. It truly is an amazing community. You take the good, the bad, and the ugly. Every place has that. But uh, we had the fortune to attend the breakfast yesterday, and we're going to talk a little bit more on it. Get some opinions on it. First of all, hello, Gloria Ann. Thank you for tuning in. Melina Floyd, see you on there. Thank you for joining. And yes, Rich, it is a little too early for St. Patrick's Day with the green. However, like I said, we're going to unveil a new look next week. So we're under mini construction at this time as we get our operation started. But without further ado, I want to give you a little insight and enjoy the festivities that we attended at what was called the Breck Fest. And we'll talk about that here with David right after this video. Enjoy.
January 19th, as communities across the nation honor the legacy of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Bristol came together in unity and purpose at Bristol Eastern High School.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring with the harmonies of liberty.
From 8 to 10 a.m., the annual Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. NAACP Scholarship Breakfast brought together students, families, and community leaders to celebrate service, leadership, and the ongoing pursuit of justice. Mayor Ellen Zapo-Sasu spoke on the importance of the day, reminding attendees of Dr. King's enduring message.
Today, everyone is looking at us, this generation, and saying, what are we doing? And future generations are going to look back and say, what did you do when people's civil rights were being violated? Just like they were 60 years ago when Martin Luther King stood up and built that foundation of what we expected people to do.
To the massive increase and aggressive tactics of ICE, our world is very different. My colleague, Senator Lopes from New Britain, called it a war on the poor. There is no question that it is a war on the poor. And we know that the poor are code for Black and brown people and all marginalized others that are not part of what this administration perceives to be the America they are hoping to make great again.
And AFT Connecticut's first professional.
Bristol Public Schools Superintendent Iris White reflected on her childhood, sharing personal stories and experiences that helped shape her journey.
And I urge all of us to embrace respectful dialogue, even when we disagree, to strengthen our community's unity and shared purpose. Dr. King believed deeply in collective responsibility around shared values. That belief guides how I lead our district. Schools do not succeed in isolation. They succeed when families, educators, students, and community partners work together with trust and purpose. Because my father's voice was often in the minority, I learned that voices can be overlooked, and are sometimes the most important and profound ones are. I encourage each of us to listen actively, speak honestly, and stand courageously for justice, embodying Dr. King's principles in our daily lives.
I think it's important that we celebrate Martin Luther King Day in Bristol because it shows us that there is this call to action. It's been for 60 years plus that Martin Luther King led the charge for civil rights, and especially today when we see civil rights being questioned in other parts of the country, I think it begs the question for people, could what's happening in Minneapolis, what's happening in large cities, could that happen here? And so today is a great day to reassess, to come together and know that we are a community and that we stand together. We stand together to improve our community. We stand together to understand our neighbors, even those that might not look like us or talk like us or worship like us, and understand that Bristol was built on the immigrant experience over 100 years ago. And as it constantly evolves, it just makes us stronger. Diversity is a blessing, not a curse, and I think that that's the message that we want moving forward. Martin Luther King Day gives us an opportunity to talk about that.
The program concluded with Greater Bristol NAACP presenting a special award to Superintendent White. Carved more than 6,000 miles away in Ghana, the artistic piece titled The Thinker, accompanied by a certificate of authenticity, stands as a powerful symbol of excellence.
Let's put our dreams into motion together. And lastly, in the words of my grandfather, keep the faith, baby.
How about that, David? What do you think?
That's pretty terrific. And that's exactly what we want to do is to bring attention to things that are happening in town so people get to know what's happening and who's involved and what they have to say. Because we all want to be part of that conversation. And the more we know the people who are involved, the more we are involved personally. So I think I never get tired talking about local news. We've got lots going on in different levels, the state and the nation, but I think things happen here on a local level that are significant, and sometimes we overlook them because of what's happening in other places. Now, I'm not saying that these things that are happening in other places aren't important. I'm saying that there's also a significance to what happens among us, where we can talk to each other, we're face-to-face with each other, and we have to interact. It requires a certain kind of behavior that I think is, and I'm in the thrall of having read John Adams' biography by David McCullough, where we kind of understand the American experiment. And even though it's a couple of hundred years old and we're celebrating the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence and the Declaration of Independence itself by the colonies, that is fueled by a certain particular outlook that is hard to live up to. We're all challenged by it, and it requires our attention. And I think that's something that we need to attend to now. And I think by doing that locally, understanding how government works, understanding what's happening in town, understanding what people are saying, what the conversation is about, it really does add to our ability to contribute, because on that level, we're all contributing. And I like the idea of contributing. So this weekend, or watching that event yesterday was one where if you were there, you saw a part of Bristol. You thought about something that was happening in Bristol that was important to you, but now pulling back and having this report, it also shows that you are invested in that. You understand what's happening, and now you have something to think about and perhaps to talk about among yourselves. And I think around the dinner table would be great.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you to Laura Bailey, who for giving us that report. Laura, what a fantastic job covering that. As we move on, David. Oh, I also want to say, what a great job Melina Floyd did. As you saw her there at the opening of the package of singing that piece. Phenomenal job. She's just an absolutely great singer. Shout out.
Well, that's
there
one
to
thing
Melina.
about this local news is that you see people among you. You might see people in different contexts, but then you hear someone sing, and it's it's like, wow, how did that happen? That was pretty terrific.
No, absolutely. And it was a great event. And I got chills when they were singing "Glory" It was just a beautiful moment, and to see the different organizations, the different people, members of the community, the mayor, city council members, people from the Department of Education, the police department, citizens of Bristol all together. It was just a beautiful thing. And the NAACP putting this event together just did an absolutely phenomenal job. And it was so happy that I got to attend in person and witness that. Now, David, we also went over to a couple of small businesses. We started off with a new opening of a new, I would say, popular chain, Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A opened up here in Bristol. And what do you think about it?
What do I think about it? I
Yeah.
think it's another business in town.
Do you like Chick-fil-A? Are you a Chick-fil-A eater?
Well, I have strong feelings about Chick-fil-A.
Okay.
I do.
All right. Well,
I try to keep my opinions to myself.
Well, let's just.
But they deserve to be covered. They're here. I'm glad we have another business in town. I think they have a terrific product. And the thing with our local news and things like that, we like local businesses. We're not going to ignore the big ones. But there's something to be said for, I don't know. I mean, I think I'm in a bind right now. It's like I'm for, yes, development in Bristol, absolutely. And if we have a business that can come in here that has as fine a reputation as Chick-fil-A has, then I think we all benefit from that. I do think about, in terms of what we're trying to do, is that's great that Chick-fil-A is here, but you can go to some places around town, and I know this is a little competition, but you can go to Greer's and get a great chicken sandwich. You can go to other places in town.
Absolutely.
I mean, so I'm not against it, but I think because it's new and it's an opening, I think we cover Chick-fil-A, but there's a corporate component that they get attention. We need local people to get attention. So we need to make that
absolutely,
connection.
and I have my certain feelings about it, but I like some feelings I don't express. This is a part of the job, that a part of covering that things that are happening in Bristol. So let's show you some of the footage we got from the opening day on Farmington Avenue of Chick-fil-A.
It's really hard not to enjoy that. It's really a terrific, fun event. And so it's
Well, David, we'll move on
okay.
to another business that opened up here in the city of Bristol. I'm new here, like we have said thousands of times. There'll be a certain point where I can no longer say that, but for now, it still sticks. Shaw's restaurant opened up.
Shaw's halal.
Have you heard of
halal food.
Have you heard of Shaw's halal food?
I know what halal food is. I know that Shaw's was there because I've seen the storefront and the signage for a long time, and I know they had an opening. I haven't been there myself. I'm looking forward to give it a try. I think it's terrific. And we talk about our community and who makes up our community. It's a lot of different people. It's Chick-fil-A and it's halal foods. That's pretty interesting.
Well, let's take a look.
Hi Bristol, we're here at Shah's Halal Food celebrating their grand opening. It's always great to see a new business, especially a new restaurant here in Bristol. So stop down and say hi to them.
And eat plenty. Some really good stuff.
What do you think about that, David? Shah's Halal Food
I think
opening
that's
up.
terrific. I can't wait to get down there and give it a
And
try.
you know, the day of, they were giving away free food, and these were big platters. I think what I saw while I was there was $13.99 a platter. They were giving away free platters from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. on their opening day, and let me tell you, that line was definitely long. People wanted that free food, and rightly so, because I heard nothing but great things about it from people who did try it. So, Shah Halal's, David, another business opening up here on Farmington Avenue.
Yeah, I mean, you just love to see people trying new things and making the effort, and you're hoping that people will support that.
Now we also had another small something we wanted to talk about. I wouldn't say small, but a local business owner also happens to be on Farmington Avenue, received quite the award. Take a look.
So, Joe, on behalf of the American Legion and Kim Ward and her family, we just wanted to thank you so much. This is for you, for all the support, not just for American Legion Post 2, but for veterans and the city of Bristol, and just a token of our appreciation. So I wanted to say thank you very much.
Greatly appreciated, especially on behalf of Artie. He was an awesome guy.
Well, and he meant a lot. You meant a lot to him.
Yeah, he did.
So.
We've been in business for 37 years. It means a lot, especially Artie was a very good friend of mine and my family's. He's devoted himself to the Legion and the Post. We really appreciate everything he's done over the future for all our veterans.
The award is a plaque of appreciation for the years and continued support of the Art Ward annual golf tournament that we have is a fundraiser for local scholarships that Post 2, Bristol American Legion, does in the city of Bristol. Anytime we need equipment and things for the golf tournament and sponsorship, Joe and his family and True Value do a wonderful job of always supporting anything we need for the golf tournament and for the dinner afterwards. The Art Ward Golf Tournament is a collaboration between the Ward family and the Bristol American Legion Post 2. It is a fundraiser for Post 2 Legion Scholarship and other events to support the Post in the city of Bristol. The first award that we've sent out in the community thanking for the support for the golf tournament, yes.
So that was a little bit. Congratulations to Joe from True Value for receiving that award. It was really nice to see it happen in person as the award was given to him. Congratulations, Joe, on receiving that award. True Value, David, on Farmington Avenue.
That's one thing I get excited about. Excuse me. That's something I get excited about because True Value has been there such a long time. The Engler family has been such a contributor to the city of Bristol for such a long time. This generation, the previous generation, and so you see, you have new businesses coming in, and you want to recognize them. But then you have these businesses that are that have been around for ages, and they've just managed to do some spectacular things. And this is one thing that True Value has been able to do, and Joe's been able to do, and Diane, who's there, and before them, their dad, Bill. So I get really excited about that connection because right there you have a community player, a business that's been very creative in how it's been able to survive in this time in direct competition against other large um, companies, corporations, and they've been terrific in their allegiance to Bristol and also Bristol's allegiance to them. And then you see them, sponsoring the veterans. Now you've got a family, you've got a business, you've got the veterans, you've got a golf tournament that they use, and then what the Legion does is they offer scholarships to young people. And so I just think that is a terrific thing that we should all know about. And I love those events. I think that was terrific, and I think it's terrific that you were able to capture that, and that we can share that with our readers.
We're really trying to get more of the essence of what Bristol's already awesome. There's a lot of awesome things
Bristol has an
happening.
essence.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but being able to now capture some of these moments to share with everyone who may not be there for some of these moments. The MLK event, which was awesome event, and the grand opening of two businesses and then the True Value owner Joe receiving that award, being able to share that with the rest of Bristol is just I'm very fortunate to be able to do so. And thankfully, and these are great moments. So we're going to continue to share more, David. We're going to continue to share more. We're going to continue to try to go to more places as things happen. And we have to shift gears just a little bit, because just as things are awesome, um, uh, and just as you may think, the city of Bristol, things occur and you realize how great some citizens and the people are of Bristol. When things happen, they come together in unity. And recently, uh, the city of Bristol held a vigil for Renee Good. Um, David, you're aware of the vigil that occurred here in the city, downtown?
Yeah.
We have some footage of some of the interviews. So we'll let the listeners listen up to what some of the people had to say in downtown Bristol over at the vigil of Renee Good.
Condemning the actions of those ICE agents, and we are looking to. We're here. Sorry. We're here at a vigil here in front of City Hall to honor the memory of the life of Renee Nicole Good, who was murdered by ICE agents in Minneapolis yesterday.
Why do something like this?
Because it's important that people know that even though we are hearing national news, that there is local community support. There are people that hear their concerns and feel what they're feeling on their local level. There were state representatives here, there were city council people here, and people are among their community who can mourn together.
The overall message.
Overall message is that we are condemning the actions of those ICE agents, and we are looking to our local elected officials and our national elected officials and looking to the whole community for answers and for a new direction that will make sure that everybody is safe.
I'm here to support Renee Good because I watched the videos last night and today. I watched, I don't know how many different angles. And I mean, she wasn't blocking. I mean, nobody was blocking her car. She wasn't blocking anybody. There was ice in the neighborhood, in one of the Minneapolis neighborhoods yesterday. And a woman was in her vehicle and she let two vehicles go by, and the third vehicle decided that what's this lady doing? So they got out of their vehicles and started charging after her. And as she tried to pull away, one of them shot her in the face and killed her senselessly.
How did that make you feel?
What was that?
How did that make you feel?
Horrible, because I have a daughter that's very close to her same age. And I feel the same every time that she leaves her house, every time she goes to work. When she was younger, every time she left our house, I felt the same way. It's like, is she coming home? I mean, especially over the last 10 to 15 years. It's like I worry all the time. And it's like somebody said here, it's like, what's it going to be? I mean, how's it going to be for us just standing here? Is somebody going to come by here? People are afraid to go out again. And that's not what we need here in Bristol. So, I mean, even though this happened out in Minnesota, we're here to support them. Like if something happened here, we would hope that they would be there to support us.
Strong sentiments and words there, said downtown David.
Yeah, that's what we do. I mean, this is it's a protest. We want to find out who the people are behind it, what they have to say, what their feelings are. In lots of ways, my role as an editor and as the publisher and editor in chief, while we're getting the newspaper off the ground, is to be able to recognize significant events and to report those back. People can find out a lot of stuff on social media, but what we want here at the Bristol edition is a platform to where people can go, a trusted source to be assured that they are going to learn about what's important and what is significant that's happening in Bristol. And this is an event where there's a local gathering, and people definitely have a position on things. But it's also reflective of, if this is happening on the local level here, as this big country that we are united at that level. And we do have lots of things in common across this great big country of 330 million people. And this is just a reminder that we are a country and we're not individual colonies anymore or individual states in a lot of ways. But we are people, and we are people who have a voice, and we should be able to use that voice.
Absolutely. So a busy January of doing something new here on the Bristol edition. And we started last year. We kicked off with the election coverage night, and the same location we're at now.
Yeah, right. Same location. We're in my living room right now with the green screen up.
Although
yes.
you know what's missing, David?
Yes, the penguin.
The
is
penguin
missing.
is missing.
I know
The
the
penguin was
penguin is
quite-
not here. It's a favorite. We're going to have to reintroduce the penguin.
Absolutely. Now, before we move further, let's talk about the schedule. What's to come? Because we've created just a little. It's a large mini schedule, okay, just of what's going on in terms of the Bristol edition shows that we're airing here. We've added a couple of shows. We're going to pop them up here on the screen for you. So we have Talking Bristol, which is this show, David.
Mm-hmm.
We also have The Avenue, right? We have
Which is your show.
Yeah, that's my show. Yeah, absolutely, and it's a good time. We're having a great time
Well,
on
that's
The
the difference
Avenue.
here. Yours is a good time show. Mine is boring.
No, I think it's not boring at all. This
Okay.
is
All right.
I think people get a lot out of both. We have amazing guests. We always have amazing guests. Thank you to this beautiful city and people willing and wanting to share more, to get more coverage about what's going on here in the city. Rightly so. Bristol should have more coverage. There's a lot of amazing things, a lot of good events, a lot going on aside in the city that should be broadcasted out. And we're going to try to get to as much as possible. So you have Talking Bristol. You see there at the top, that's today. The next time we'll be on we'll have Talking Bristol will be next week on the 27th.
On the 27th, and we'll have Ruth Fortune, who is challenging Senator U.S. Congressman John Larson. He's one of several people who are challenging him. We had Luke Broden on earlier, and the intention is to have Representative Larson on at some point too. So we want to be able to bring some of these significant individuals in here, because Bristol, like you said, is an important place. I mean, we're one of the largest cities in Connecticut. We've got 60,000 people. There's a lot going on here, and we have influence. And so I think, and these other people have influence too. So when they come here, we want to hear their stories, and we want to be able to make a decision about who it is we're going to vote for and we're going to support, because that's part of what our mission is, and that's more of a statewide story as opposed to a city story. A majority of things are city things, but these people are our representatives, whoever's elected, and they represent us. So they should know us. And they've taken the time to come out here and visit with us on our program, which I think is terrific.
Absolutely. And if you haven't seen that interview on Talking Bristol, you can check it out on the bristoledition.org. It's also on the Facebook page. It's also on the YouTube. So make sure to check those out. That was the interview we did with Luke Bronin, running for Congress. And then we also, as David said, have on the 27th, another fantastic show where we will be bringing on Ruth Fortune. Now, after that, we have on the 28th, The Avenue. We return for another show. We have some special guests lined up. And so I think that'll be just fantastic. And then after that, we're adding a new show.
Mhm.
Now, we have here February 2nd. Now it says time 1 p.m. on the 2nd. Now that can change. That is subject to change. So we might change that date. Superintendent time. That's where we will be sitting down with Superintendent Iris White.
Well, we thought about this because we think, over the last couple of years, the Board of Education has been getting a lot of attention, and education in general has been getting a lot of attention. And we thought, who's a better person to talk to and to sit down with the superintendent, ask questions that we think our public is interested in, and also offer the public to send us ideas and questions that they would like to ask as part of that conversation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And for all the shows, you have comments, questions, or concerns, bring them forward, send it to us. But to have that conversation with Superintendent Iris White, who was the keynote speaker at the event that we just came for Martin Luther King on Monday. But I know that she wants transparency, right? Have an ability for the people, the parents of Bristol, to be able to communicate. If you have questions that you want to ask Superintendent White, we're going to have a way for you guys to communicate via superintendent time. So moving on, David, we'll move on with the schedule. We've also added Bristol Game Day, February 11th. Bristol Game Day. So Bristol Game Day will be where we are covering more live Bristol sports. We pulled off somehow the live stream of Bristol Eastern versus Bristol Central.
It still amazes me.
And so we decided, hey, people liked it. They want more. So we're going to give them more.
Bristol loves sports. And what I love about that is we have a long tradition in Bristol of recognize our young athletes. And we feel that Bristol Edition is part of that tradition. And we want to be able to, in our sports pages, reflect some of that back, not just sports, but all around and all through. But we have a special fondness for sports in Bristol. So, and we want to kind of like highlight activities by our local athletes. So this particular game day will feature a match, a crosstown rivalry between Bristol Eastern and Bristol Central, and it will be a wrestling match. Wrestling matches, if you know anything about wrestling matches, they take up a lot of time. They're involved, and wrestling itself is quite a sport. And I know that through my life, I have not been surprised that when I have encountered people who are doing something special, it is not surprising to me that they had a wrestling background. I played sports. I feel like I have been disciplined, and that helped me very much in success in my life. But wrestlers take things to the nth degree. And I don't know if Aaron, if you have any experience with wrestling.
I do. As all the fights that I've had in my MMA career, I did take some wrestling training. Some amazing Division I wrestlers would come into the gym, or who already trained at the gym. Shout out to Cedar Creek MMA and Cooper MMA back in Austin, Texas. But who would come and help us with our wrestling skills, because a lot of fights go to the ground. And I do. It's tedious work. It's hard work. I mean, being held down by someone with all their might is is a task in itself. So yeah, we have some experience there with wrestling, and I'm excited for us to cover it.
And
David.
you're also going to have commentators from the community. who are
Yes,
gonna
and we're
join
going
you.
yeah, and we're going to announce that at a later time.
Okay,
But
that's
yes, we
surprising.
do have
Yeah.
some great members of the community who are well known, who will be assisting and commentating the wrestling match. So everyone, look forward to that live stream, February 11th, Bristol Game Day, 6 p.m. Stay tuned. You're not going to want to miss it. Then we resume February 17th, February 24th, talking Bristol every week. It's every week, David. No
Yeah,
breaks.
well, I'm
No
we're
breaks.
gonna try that. We're gonna give that a shot.
And then February 25th, we end off again with the Avenue.
Right.
But before we go, you know, something that I found out, June 2026 is the 10th anniversary of the Bristol edition. Is that right?
It's pretty much. I think that's about right. I think that's the first time we published an article under the auspices of the Bristol edition. We were not incorporated then. It might have been considered more of a blog back then. But the idea behind it kind of sprung from a project that I started. I was doing my my master's in journalism at that particular time. It was a journalism master's in journalism education, and one of my projects was to consider what I could do to kind of spread the whole idea of journalism, which is local news, information, in a way that would attract people. So we got to get together a group of people who were volunteers who was crazy then and we're crazy now. And we sat down for 10 weeks and we learned all about journalism ethics. And Jack Krampitz and a few other people came on board after that. When we said, well, why don't we just start a newspaper? Why don't we just do this online? And we did it because in some ways, you know, Bristol has a very long newspaper tradition. And yet our newspaper was not functioning in a very healthy manner and was not addressing the needs of a 60,000 person population city. And in many ways, we were a news desert. And so as we see what's happening across the country, is people are coming up with new and innovative ways to report news. And for us, it is this particular manifestation. So I think part of what we want to do is to just be a newspaper and to build the trust of people so that when they read us, they know they're getting the story. Now, earlier we talked a little bit about Chick-fil-A, you know, and it's like, my opinion is not important. What it is recognizing that something significant is happening and covering the story, and we cover the story. So we talk about, you know, bias in news, but if I have a bias, my bias is for democracy. I want to sustain and see our democracy be a healthy one. And I think the way democracy works is you need to have information. People need to make choices based on solid information. And that's where we put our money, so to speak. And we hope that people put their money there too, because they, you know, we rely on contributions. As we grow, we have to be able to pay for individuals who are staff members, and we want to bring them on. So we have a viable newspaper in Bristol again with people who are committed to that mission. And right now we have we have Laura Bailey who's working with us, and she's a very committed individual, and she's terrific. And she brings her own professional relationship with journalism. And as a journalist, she was a sports reporter, and she is just developed into a great editor. We have Jack Krampitz, who does our news editing right now, but we have a bunch of stringers who are with us right now. Matt Chamorro does our sports. He's a UConn student. We have a Central Connecticut student, and Lucas Amoroso Whittles. We have Alexa Furness, who was a graduate of Marist College. We had Ian Staubley, who came here also from the University of Rhode Island. And we had Kyle Galvin, who was at American University. And we had Maria, who's also with us. And so what we were doing is we're generating interest, and we are also working with our schools as much as we can to develop young writers. And we're working with the Bristol Boys and Girls Club to also start a new journalism tradition here in Bristol. So, you know, the addition is news. It's local. And the great thing I love about local news is that I can encounter any one of our readers on the street, and they can tell me what they think or what they want to know about, and we have that personal kind of relationship, and that's the kind of tradition we have in Bristol when it comes to news that we want to perpetuate.
Yeah, and I would love more interaction with you at home watching. Get your feedback. What do you want to hear? What do you want us to cover? And now we can't cover everything. We have to be smart about that, but we want to know what's going on. And as we continue to elevate our media side of things, we want to keep hearing your input because we're doing this, as we've said before, for you, for the people of Bristol. You can have a trusted source to come to. And that's what David and the Bristol edition is
And I have
trying
to
to
add, we
do.
have Mike Chaikin working with us too.
Mike Chicken, yes,
Mike
can't forget
Chaikin,
Mike,
yes, Mike Chaikin
who
has
moderated
is part of this
the
tradition
yeah.
of solid news, and he brings his integrity, and he brings his reporting and his knowledge of news from years and years and years of experience in local news, and he's terrific. And I can't say enough about his contribution and what he does for us.
Absolutely. And Mike and Laura and Jack, which we want to get Jack on the show. We want to get Jack on the show, right?
Right, and he will be on a show in the future. Yeah.
And if you don't know, Jack's a funny guy. Jack is a funny guy, always a laugh when he's around. So look forward to seeing him on the show. So we have some closing remarks here as we talk about interaction. David, Rupee Patton on the chat. What is Dave's favorite moment of growing up on Lake Avenue? Feel free to answer that at your discretion.
A favorite moment. I mean, telling you, living on Lake Avenue was a dream. I don't know if there was a favorite moment, but there are many moments of growing up and what we call the project off Lake Avenue. Just one memory. It's we had Casey Field right down the street from us. We had Stocks Playground right down the street from us. We had Lake Compounds in the other direction. Page Park was within reach, but there was, and then we in the actual project in our neighborhood, in one of the blocks, we had our field. It was people's backyards, but we played football out there. We played baseball out there. We would go to Casey Field and we would just spend all day there at Casey Field. We go to Callan School and play basketball at Callan School. It was always a competition. It was always, we had people from, kids from across town come over and play and challenge us. I grew up with a great bunch of kids. I mean, I could talk about what happened in growing up over there for days. So, but some of the favorite memories, of course, had to do with, with sports and just the competition of growing up with people like Doug Jackson was older than us. We had the Galbouts. Oh my God, I hate to leave anyone out, but we had, the Trellies were there. We had Kasperians. We had, it just goes on and on and on. And then we had great athletes who, and never ended up playing in any of the in any of the high school or venues that were more, focused on the city. But yeah, thanks, Rippy. That was great. Like I said, I'm mumbling right now, but it was great.
Yeah, and as we're doing this. You can't see this at home, okay? But our operation here, and again, if you are just tuning in at the very end where we're about to say goodbye, the green screen is because we have a new look that we're unveiling for Talking Bristol, but we're not going to unveil that until next week's show. But if you're not here, you can't see that we have our whole operation right here in front of us. All our equipment, all our cameras, all our lights. And if you see me leaning over, looking, it's because I'm switching cameras, David.
Mhm.
I'm switching the cameras. Right. We're doing the video. We're doing it all here. So that's why that's happening. But I think overall, I'm so happy that you decided to do Talking Bristol, to give the people a place to go to get more informed. I don't have the information that you do. You're from here, and to learn from you has been fantastic. So I thank you for all the knowledge you're giving me. Let's recap real quickly. What's going on? So we covered some of the videos that we have. So if you want to watch it again, we can rewind and replay this. We had the MOK NAACP event, the Breakfast 2026. We had Shaw's opening of Shaw's, opening of Chick-fil-A, True Value, the owner of True Value, Joe, receiving an amazing award. And we had some interviews with people downtown at the vigil of Renee Good. So, summarizing all that, we also have our new schedule. We have wrestling we're excited about. We have an amazing interview next week with Ruth. And we're going to continue to do what we're doing just like now. David, last messages for the viewers.
Well, support local news. Support local news. You become part of this. You are part of the community already. We don't have to rediscover anything in Bristol. Bristol has plenty to offer. So we are uncovering and we are sharing what's been happening, and we're doing it in a way that is fair and balanced, and we're building trust every day. So just stop by bristoledition.org. It's not for profit. There's no paywall. We do encourage donations, and there is a donation button. It's a teeny tiny little red or green button on there that you can tick on and show your appreciation. This is actually a community project. Bristol Edition succeeds. Bristol succeeds in ways that it hasn't done for a while. So it's not going backwards. It's moving ahead, and it's bringing with it what we can of Bristol to make Bristol more of what Bristol is. And we find that out in our pages. We find that out in our media. We find that out when we talk to each other and some of the issues we address. So it's all connection. So don't ever be afraid to reach out, send a note to the editor. It's editor@bristoledition.org. If you have a tip for a story, send that in. Like I say, we are building. We have a core of people who are freelancers, who aren't employees, so we can't just send them anywhere, but we can use our resources wisely to develop reporting in Bristol so that everyone is informed. That's what our basic thought is. And we really do need to get people to appreciate the fact that we are for Bristol. So I think, Aaron, that would be where I want to end. I think that's this has been terrific. I love doing these little broadcasts, live streams, or whatever we call them. And I think they help us make connections. But also get to our news pages. Check out those pages. And what we found is that hundreds, if not thousands of people make it to our pages every day. So if you want to know what other people are reading in Bristol, and of some substance that's not wasting your time, that you want to give your attention to because your attention is important and you're important, give us a shot.
All right. Thank you, David. David does a fantastic job of putting together the Bristol edition. That's the bristoledition.org. Please go like, share, subscribe, donate. I tell you, you say, hey, Aaron, you got the green screen still behind you. Yes, we're going to unveil that new look next week. We could progress faster, but we need your help. Anything you have to donate to the Bristol edition, please do so. If you're a bigger, maybe want to empty out a little bit more out of your wallet to help us out, please do. I'm not one to do that, but I think what we're trying to do here is a great thing here in the city. Melina Floyd just asked what my favorite moment is in Bristol. Don't have enough time, unfortunately, to tell you, but maybe we can cover that on the next edition of The Avenue. Thank you, everybody, for watching Talking Bristol. And I will say David will go back to his regular format next week, Talking Bristol. But this week we wanted to do something different and just do a recap of some of the events that we've attended since the new year has started, show you some footage of those events, and just get on the same page with the schedule, and to let you know to continue to watch. Please go read the bristoledition.org. When you wake up, there's usually an article up there, and it's a fantastic read. You can figure out what's going on, the weather, the great articles done by Laura Bailey, Mike, and David Fortier. So go check those out. Please like, share on Facebook, Instagram. It really means a lot. It takes just a second, but it means a whole lot here to us. Thank you, Bristol, for watching, and good night.
Good night.